Do you know what Islam is? It's a way of life for all. It is taught in the Quran for big and small. A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way.
Welcome to this week's episode of
Tell us about Islam.
Tell Us About Islam, the program that deals with the explanation of what Islam really is all about on the level that anybody can understand it. And with us again today on this episode, we have our sister Fatima, sister Zia, who is with us, and Bilal, and Tabish. All of them attend the same school. Tell us the name of your school.
Islamic International School.
International School? Islamic International School. Did I get it right? Okay, if I make any mistakes in the program, you guys help me, okay? Because they are studying the very things that we're talking about right now. And in our last program, we were really finding out where human beings came from, where everything came from, including angels. And we learned about something called the jinn. The jinn are the ones that we don't see. They were created before human beings, and they still exist today. We didn't talk about them very much, but we kind of alluded to them. We'll have a program all about the jinn maybe sometime. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yes.
I think we can do that. But remind us, what was our last subject that we talked about in the last program? Do you remember?
Yes.
What was it?
Adam, peace be upon him, and Hawa.
Adam and Hawa. Right. And what should we pick up with that?
What happened to them after they ate the fruit?
Oh, that's a good point. Let's see. They were in the heaven. They were in the paradise. Allah told them, don't eat the fruit. And the devil came to them, and he convinced them, and they ate the fruit. And they ate the fruit, and then what happened? I said in the last program they got in trouble, but we didn't say what kind of trouble or what happened to them. In fact, what happened, Allah made them and the devil, all of them, get down. Allah said, get down from here, all of you. So all of them had to leave the paradise. So there's nobody left in the paradise yet. Okay. They came down on the earth. When they got down on the earth, they got separated. They went one way and another way. So Hawa went one place, and Adam, he went another place. And the both of them, they made something called tawbah. What is tawbah? Do you know? In English, we say repent. It means that when you're really sorry for something and you really want to stop doing something, you make tawbah. You turn away from that and you go back. Kind of like make a U-turn. You're going down the street and you realize this is the wrong way for me. So what I want to do? Go back. And so this is what all of us as human beings should do when we make mistakes. We should make tawbah, go back to Allah and ask Him to forgive us. This is what they did. Both of them, they asked Allah, forgive us. So Allah forgave them. This is important to know because in some religions, they talk about Adam and Eve, that the sin on them from eating the fruit, that this sin, this bad thing they did, not only did they get in trouble, but their children got in trouble, and their children got in trouble, and their children got in trouble. And all these children, in fact, even today, they said that everybody is having this sin on them because of what they did. That's not very nice, especially because they asked Allah to forgive them. Allah forgave them. So this means that all of the children are born how? Innocent, not guilty. First of all, you have to realize that Adam was all by himself. And then we said that Allah took a rib from him and made Hawa, Eve, from that rib, right? So really, Adam and Eve are the same in a lot of ways, because she came right out of his side. So where would they get any children? Well, from each other. So they have to be together. And so the children come from them. And they had children and children. Now here's something interesting. Where would those children get any wives or husbands? Where would they get them? You can't order them by mail, right? Pick up the phone. Could you deliver me a husband, please? They can't do that. So where do they get them? Well, Allah made something special when He made Adam. He made something special when He made Eve. And even their children He made special. Do you know how? There's a word in Arabic, taw'am. Do you know this word, taw'am? Have you ever heard it? Well, guess what it means? Twin. Twin. Have you heard the name Thomas? Like somebody's name is Thomas?
Yes.
It comes from taw'am. If you go to the dictionary and you look up the word Thomas, it means twin. Taw'am. Now, sometimes they use the word, a long time ago, Thomas, when somebody looked like somebody. But in this case, these were real twins. But it wasn't a boy and a girl twins. It was a boy and a girl, but they were born at the same time. And then another boy and a girl born at the same time. Now, the girl with the first group didn't marry her brother. She married the brother of the other girl. And the girl of the second group didn't marry her brother, but she married the brother of this girl in the first group. You see? So it's not like she married her own brother, because her own brother is her twin. She married the other one. And this is the way Allah did it. That's what Allah wanted. Then it happened. This is what happened. One brother, he looked at his own sister, his twin sister, and she was beautiful. And he looked at the one that he's supposed to marry, the other one. She wasn't very beautiful, but she was very nice. She was very smart. She was good with Allah, but he wanted the beautiful one. In his eyes, he said, that's the one I want. Now, the other brother was supposed to get married to her. So this caused a big problem. What could they do? Let me tell you their names. Habil and Qabil. Now, Qabil is the one who wanted to marry his own sister. But Habil told him, La, no, can't do that. Allah wants me to marry her, and you marry my sister. Qabil, he didn't want that. So they made an offer to Allah, an offering. You know, like we make offerings to Allah, maybe we'll sacrifice a sheep and give the meat to the poor people, things like that. Well, they did it. They made an offering. But Allah did not accept the offering from Qabil. He accepted the one from Habil. This means he cannot marry the sister he wants to. He has to marry the other one. And it became clear, this is the choice. You need to marry her, and I need to marry your sister. Well, Qabil decided he was going to fight with his brother. And you know what happened? They got in a big fight.
Why were they fighting?
Well, the main thing was, even though it was clear what Allah wanted for them, one of them, he didn't want to accept it. He did not want to believe that Allah really wanted that for him. And even though it was clear, his brother told him, his sisters told him, Allah showed him, still didn't want to go with it. So he wanted to fight with his brother. But actually, it wasn't so much a fight as it was somebody just picking on the other one. Because Habil said, I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to fight with you. So Qabil said, then I will kill you. Because if I kill you, then I can marry anybody I want to. But he said, if you kill me, I won't even raise my hand against you. Because if you kill me, you will take all my sins. You'll take all my sin on you if you kill me. But I won't raise my hand to fight you because you're my brother. What do you think happened? He killed him. Qabil, he killed him dead.
What does Islam say about that?
Well, if you kill somebody, Islam has a very clear subject in the Quran. It's in chapter 5. You'll find it in chapter 5. It's very clear. Whoever kills an innocent person, it's like they killed all the human beings. But whoever saves an innocent person, it's like they saved all of humanity. Whoever kills the innocent one, it's like what? Like he killed everybody. But whoever saves somebody, like he saved everybody. So this is really clear what Islam says. Now today we hear people saying that Islam tells about killing people and trashing out places and violence and terrorism and so on and so. But that isn't what the Quran says at all. You take one, even one innocent person's life, it's like you killed everybody. But if you save even one innocent life, it's like you saved everybody. It's very, very important to keep that in mind. I'm glad you asked me that question.
What happened next?
It's a good question. What did happen next? He killed his brother. His brother's laying there. What did he do? Well, he didn't know what to do. So Allah sent 2 ravens. Now a raven is like a big crow, a big black bird. Have you seen those kind that go, ah, 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 like that? Big ones, have you seen them? Yeah. Those are raven, really big. And one is fighting the other one. And he killed him. And then the one that was still alive, he started taking his claws and he started digging the dirt and digging the dirt and digging it and digging, and then he pushed the other one into the hole. Qabil said, look at me. I'm not even as smart as a bird. I should have figured that out. So he dug a hole and he pushed his brother in. And that was the first person that died. Was by what? Murder, killing. Since that time until right now, many people have killed innocent people. Many people have killed innocent people, and it's very, very bad. Even though we know that it happens a lot, and even some places it's common, it's still never, ever permissible for a Muslim to kill an innocent person. So if anybody asks you that, now you know the answer. But this story that I'm telling you now has some very important message. And as soon as we get back from the break, we want to talk about what this means to us, how we understand it in today's world. You're watching Tell Us About Islam, and we'll be right back after this break. We're back. You're watching Tell Us About Islam. In the first part of our program, we had a chance to learn a little bit more about Adam and Eve. And then we learned about their children. We learned about how they had children by having twins. We even learned that they were the kind of twins where it's a boy and a girl instead of identical twins where it's 2 boys and 2 girls. We found out that they got married to opposite brothers and sisters. And we even found out what happened when one of them didn't want to marry the one he was supposed to, when he wanted to marry his own sister, which Allah didn't want. So what he did, remember? Killed his brother. And after he did that, figured out how to put him in the ground. But then what? Well, the next thing we have to understand is the lessons that come from this. Allah tells us in the Quran, and we learned it in our last program, when we talked about what Allah said when He created Adam in the first place. When He created the first man, Allah said, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. And Allah is saying with a big emphasis on this, for sure, He created the human being in the best way, the best mold, the best shape. Thumma radadnahu asfala safilin, Allah says. Then reduced him down to the lowest of the low of the low. And that's exactly the story we just heard. How high were the human beings? Look, Allah had them in great honor in paradise, eating from the fruits and the drinks, the rivers of milk and honey in paradise. They were having a pretty good time, I would say. Huh? But then the devil came to them and convinced them to eat the fruit. The only thing Allah said, don't do, don't eat that fruit. But they ate it anyway. And when they did, because the devil is the one who inspired them to do it, but they're still guilty because they listened. You don't have to listen to the devil when he talks to you. You know right from wrong. So they were all out of the paradise. The devil, Adam, Eve, all out. Then they had children. And those children, after them, had children. And children after them, and children after them. Now Allah tells us in the Quran about how it was that the two brothers fought each other. One killed the other one. The lesson is about don't get angry, don't fight against your brother, and don't kill each other. Don't kill any innocent person, regardless. Make sense? So what comes in your mind now?
What happened next?
What happened next is very interesting. After the people spread far away from this and forgot a lot of the things they were supposed to do, they began to get really evil. Really, really evil. They were so bad, so evil, that Allah had to send somebody to them to tell them the right way. And Allah always sends somebody from themselves. Allah sent to them one of their own people. And Allah inspired him so that he could tell them. Who do you think it was? It was Noah, alayhi salam. The prophet Noah, the one who had the big storm that came. You remember the story? How did it happen? Well, he went to his people and he warned them and he told them, you know, you can't be bad, you can't be evil. If you do these things, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in big trouble. In fact, Allah could destroy everything. But they didn't listen. Now, he preached to them for a long time. You know, Adam lived a long time. And his sons and daughters lived a long time, except the ones that got killed. But the one I'm telling you about now, named Noah, he lived almost like 1,000 years. Can you imagine that? That's a long time. Maybe 12 or 15 times longer than we live. And Adam, he lived a long time. His sons lived a long time. But Adam always worshipped Allah. But these people, they weren't doing that. So when this prophet came, named Noah, or Noah, we say alayhi salam, peace be upon him. He warned his people and they didn't accept it. He told them what was going to happen. It's going to rain and water's going to come up. You're going to see a lot of things happening. Now, we made a show about that called Qasas al-Anbiya. Maybe you remember. And we did a story all about it. And it's important for us to know the meaning behind this, though, because when he came, most of the people didn't listen. And it wasn't just 1 year that he told them, or 2 years, or 10 years, or 20, or 30, or 100, or 200, or 300. He preached his message for 950 years. 950 years. Is that a long time?
Yes.
How many people listened to him? Almost none. Just a few of his own family members and some others, just a few, listened to him in all that time. And then he told them to get into the boat. They got in the boat, but his own son wouldn't get in the boat. His son said, "Go on, man, I don't want to do this." He said, "No, but if you don't get in the boat, Could drown. The water's going to come up. He said, ain't no water going to come. He said, it will come. He said, even if it does, I'll just go up the mountain. He said, it will go up the mountain. He said, I'll go higher up the mountain. He said, but it will cover the mountain. He said, I'll worry about that when I get to it. These are the meanings. I'm giving you an idea what it was like. Noah alayhi salam, he felt terrible. He was so sad. You know why? His son wouldn't get in there. Because when they closed up the ark, the ship, with all of the animals, with all the people that did go, there was no way they could open the door to let him get back in. Because they had to seal it, so it wouldn't leak. So they sealed it all up. Then the water came. You know the story. And it rained. And the water came up and the water came down. The water came down from above and it came up out of the ground, literally everywhere. Water, water, water. Until the boat began to rise and rise. And then, when the water covered everything, his son is screaming, hollering, beating, it's too late. You had your chance. They can't open the door. If they do, the boat will sink. It made poor Noah so sad because his son was going to die. But Allah told him, it's not your son anymore. Because when somebody wants to leave away from you like that, let it go. Just don't worry about it. So, these are some lessons that we got from this. The most important lesson for the Muslim is to always believe in Allah. Always do what Allah wants you to do. Always obey and do it in a good way. And be good to each other. Because another lesson we've learned from all of this is how important it is for us to cooperate with each other, work together with each other, and be kind to each other, share with each other. But I think it's also important for us to know about the historical side of other people as well, to follow along and see where people did the good things and they were successful, and when they did bad things and how it ruined them in the end. Because we're people too, and this could happen to us. And we want to be as good as we can be so that we'll be okay in this life, of course, and okay in the next life. Because when we die, then we'll all get a chance to go back to be in the paradise where Adam and Eve came from to start with. And that's what we're really looking for. Not that we want to get rich and have big houses here and big fancy cars here, because we're going to lose them all anyway. When you die, you don't take it with you. But the Muslim is always thinking about, how is it going to be when I get back into the Jannah, get back to the paradise, get back where we really belong. And that's going to be wonderful, to see Adam. Wouldn't it be nice to see your father Adam, and to see Hawa, and to see all the great prophets, and be close to Allah? Because again, this is what Muslims were looking for, how we can be close to Allah. We're running out of time, so I want to sum up today's program so we can think about the benefits of knowing about this. About Adam, Eve, their children, and what happened after they came, and from the generations after them, even up until now. And what the benefit we can get out of this is learn from other people's mistakes. But until next time, we're going to have to wrap it up for this episode of Tell Us About Islam. So until then, we give you the greeting, peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Do you know what Islam is? It's a way of life for all. It is taught